action for your Cougars after coming off back-to-back victories inside the CVC. Today is a special one. Your Cougars face the NYU Violets, and as you take a look at the matchup graphic, I say it's special because they're the number one team in the country right now. It's not every day you get a number one team walking into your gym. You can take a look at percentages. That's really where things differ especially, but these are two sides that at least come close when you look at comparisons, and a lot of times we look at comparisons and we can say, well, things are skewed a certain way because of sets played, but today that's not necessarily the case. 65 sets for the Cougars on the season and the Violets with 63. The one you saw the biggest discrepancy in, though, maybe more than anything, is percentage. Just so efficient, NYU, and it's no wonder. When you're that efficient, you're killing the ball a little bit more. They're going to get their kills today. They're going to get their points. There's no doubt about that. Just a matter of how can the Cougars slow them down and maybe even steal a set or more today. That was the conversation that I had earlier today with head coach Bezarslani, talking about trying to play their game, trying to find a way to focus on what they have on their side of the floor, not worry about what the Violets do on their end. A lot of the talk being about blocking, making sure that they can find a way to slow things down and get themselves into their system and attack off of that. That will be a key to look for today. One of the keys to that could be Tyler Quinn, and the other key to that could be current reigning NJAC Defensive Player of the Week, and he's out there on the floor wearing number 6 right now for your Cougars in David Flores. Always having conversations with his teammates, as he is right now. David Flores on the side of your screen. Looking out for him, especially Player of the Week in the NJAC, Chris Mitchell. So 2 honors there for the NJAC for your Cougars, as well as Mitchell gets the first attack, but floats that one too far beyond the back line. The Violets get the first point. Another key today could be serving. Service error is an issue for the Violets, 283. A very high mark, nearly 90 more than the Cougars mark at 195, and the Cougars have more sets played, so they're a little more efficient in that regard. Well played by Pugliano. Going to be an important middle today, especially when it comes to blocking. Trying to push that one over. Flores plays off that well. Cougars stay patient, play on through. Knocked back alive, though, by Tyler Quinn. Here it is. Aiden Flynn gets it to go. A kill for the Cougars. Brilliant attacking on that outside. They just continued force feeding the outside. Blocking was good, though. A lot of block touches there for NYU. Just one too many attacks to handle. That one just gets through off the tip of David Flores. 2 serving 1. Violets make quick work of that. Back to serve number 19, Emerson Evans, their leading scorer. 239 points entering the season. Entering this game on the season, 199 kills as well. Just a brilliant player overall. The Cougars get the kill, though, from over the middle. Knotted up at 2 early. Cougars have their own Chris Mitchell, one of the best in kills per set, just under 4 on the season. Ranks him 20th in the NCAA as this one just gets away from Tyler Quinn. Point for NYU. And for the team overall, NYU just taking a little stepping stone off of last season. Undefeated so far this season at 19-0, 4-0 in their conference. That one into the net, a service error against the Violets. 3 serving 3 coming up from Pugliano. That stepping stone was last season's elimination to Vassar College in the semifinal, so getting just about as far as they possibly could as the block was up there. Again, something that I talked to about with head coach Bezarslani. They're up there Just the timing needs to be a little bit better. Getting up a little too late. They want to be up earlier. The pass off from Flores. It's dug out on the other end. That's Tchaikovsky, and it's knocked out of play off a blocking Cougar. 5 serving 3 favoring the Violets. Tchaikovsky on the serve. Right into the net. Service error again. We always talk about how important hitting percentage is. NYU in the top 5 in the country in that. 346 their mark. A brilliant team mark. This one coming through down the middle and just getting that touch. Tyler Quinn, and it already sent Flynn diving the other way, thinking that that was going to get through and he was going to have the chance to dig it out. Instead, it's 6 serving 4 for the Violets. You think with a team like this, the question is, well, what do they do well? Well, it's just about everything. So the real question is, what do they struggle with? And right now, struggling off that second attack. Or where can they improve on? Where can they be better? So far in this first set, that's one of those areas. The other, of course, service errors. Floated over at Libero, though, someone the Cougars really want to avoid, and it's set up brilliantly off of him. Zach Knudsen wearing number 4 at Libero for the Violets. Makes that one an easy pass to set up his teammates. Oshetsky back to serve. 7 serving 5 for the Violets. Struck down the middle. Joust opportunity. Flores was up for it, but it went too far. Back there on the outside, but it lands just out of play. Violets get another. Continue their run. 8 serving 8 coming from number 8. 8 serving 5, check that, coming from number 8. Oshetsky, free ball given up by Murphy. Right to their libero, and it's set up perfectly for the striking Oshetsky. A kill for the Violets, and they continue this run. A 3-point run for the Violets as they get more comfortable in set 1. Brilliant receive there from Quinn, and it sets up Flynn to the corner. Aiden Flynn with the kill. The holes are there. If the Cougars can be efficient that way, this can make it a very interesting set 1 to start us off. Michael McSorley back to serve for the Cougars. Nick Huzar a step off for now. Floating one here. Oshetsky kept it alive. Floating back through, and just some miscommunication. Flynn and McSorley collide a little bit on the attack from Luke Boyer, the outside hitting senior. Boyer, another one who can cause plenty of problems on his way to a 200-point season at 193 already with 146 kills. And another percentage that's pretty fun to look at. 275 isn't so bad at all. Set up here, too far from Pugliano. He's a key man on the other end. It's middles that are going to be so important today. Pugliano in blocking, one of the best blockers on the other side as well. Rye Kagan wearing number 15, plenty capable of getting those kills. And those are two guys over 400 ranked in the NCAA. Kagan a 484 mark, and the Cougars get the kill off a muff dig on the right side. Buddy Cohen getting caught off. Sean Murphy on the kill, 7 serving 11. Set up down the middle, deflected, kept alive by Flynn. Outside, final chance, but the block was there, but straight down onto the other side. So the error outside, off the Mitchell attack, and the Cougars get 2 in a row. Trying to make it 3. Back from the outside, Boyer. Murphy, set up here now for Flynn. He floats one through. Aiden Flynn with the kill. Well read on that defense. And the switch passing, beautiful by the Cougars on that one. Strong rally. Flores back to serve. On the outside, that's a perfect kill. Coming from the same end, Luke Boyer strikes down the middle into the heart of the Cougar defense. Nine serving 12. And that one gets down for the Cougars. Ten serving 12. Aiden Flynn back to serve. The Violets in for an exciting matchup so far. Well struck, kept alive. On the outside, the block is up for the Cougars. And Sean Murphy continues to be a strong blocker in recent games. Talked about his 2 solo blocks against Wilkes. Continues another one here for himself. Had support with him from Pugliano. 11 serving 12. Cougars certainly in this one. Back set on the right side, pushed down. It looked like it was kept alive, but it is kept alive, and the Cougars actually are going to get the point. On that carry. And the error by NYU. Key error there. Error is an interesting mark. The Cougars with the second least inside the CVC, but still 331. The Violets limit theirs, 231, 100 less on the season. And this block continued to slice away from the Cougars. You hear that from head coach Bezerslani. He wants his team chasing that one. He says it's easy to get that over there. They've got the time. They've got to take the opportunity. The Cougars get one back. The kill from Mitchell. A brilliant set for the Cougars. And this is basically the starting squad expected from NYU. Shuffling a few guys in and out, but it's a brilliant team on that end, and the Cougars fighting them tooth and nail right now. That looked like it may have been deflected. It had to be touched by Flynn as it went out of play. Serving 13, so back in the lead are the Violets. Maybe not for long the way this one's going so far. Yoshetsky back to serve. Just tips over. Set up by Flores. Outside, pushed to the edge, alive by Evans. Outside there. Tough play right at the net, but it sets up Mitchell. He's got it through. Chris Mitchell on the kill. He continues to have a strong season. 4 kills. We talked about his 3.9 plus kills per set, ranking him 20th in the NCAA. He continues to add to that, already 4 in set 1. Set up to the outside. Mitchell got a touch, but it went straight down toward Quinn, and he couldn't handle it any better. That one, some ferocious velocity through to the outside. Devin Wynn back to serve. Their main setter this season, noticeably so in that 5-1. That one nearly tipped over. Huzar had to touch up. From Mitchell, in a tough spot going out of play. Set up for their libero. This deflects through the block and out of play into the Cougar bench. The Violets get another. Win 602 assists entering play today. Floated that serve, and Huzar just a bit delayed on that one. Sometimes you got to be up early for the blocks. Well, you might have to do the same attacking. And that one makes a bit of a run for the Violets, but not before the Cougars have kept this one very interesting, have tied it up a couple of times. It'll be 17-14 when we return on the other side of this timeout. The Violets leading the Cougars, but to their chagrin, only by 3. We'll be right back. Back here on Kean Live to resume set number 1, 17-14 your score, favoring the Violets, who are hitting to a .600 percentage. They've been brilliant attacking. Where they haven't been so brilliant is their 2 service errors. Otherwise, a blocking error as well as they get this one to go. As well as 2 overall errors. So certainly where they can improve upon there. 18 serving 14. Too far over, and that's going to cause some problems. Misplayed, and immediately it sets up a kill for the Violets. Win. Win floats one through. Flores, back set for Mitchell. It's beautiful there, but dug out by their libero. On this block, it just gets in front of the sliding Quinn. Knudsen there on a key stop to keep this one alive, so getting a few more off of that. 3 straight and 5 straight total for the Violets puts them out to a very comfortable lead. 15-14 before the run, now 20-14 for the Violets. We'll be right back here on Kean Live on the other side of this timeout, so don't go away. Welcome back here on Kean Live. 20 serving 14. The Cougars need to get themselves on a run sooner rather than later, but that's a brilliant block on the right side. And into that one, Emerson Evans. Evans, a brilliant player. UVC championship all-tournament team a season ago. Had Rookie of the Week honors. Incredible, just a sophomore. And out to being their top man now. On the back line, this one, the whistle blows on the error by the Cougars. And this one right into the net. Service error finally breaks things up, but it was a really long run. 7-point run for NYU. That helps them start to dominate this set. A wave from the Cougar bench over there. Murphy. Up top, setting up another one. But it looks like it should be an error against the Violets. It is. So many important players on this Violet side. Talked about Kean, who got the touch there, just nearly kept alive, but that was the third down low late. The Cougars need to find their rhythm. Consistently found ways to respond through much of this set. But as it gets late, 23 serving 16, the Violets are in full control. Similar to set 2 of last season where the Cougars lost 25-15. This block knocked away, out of play, Cougar point. Well struck on the right side by the Cougars. Kean, who's over on the bench for now for NYU, a first team all UVC selection. AVCA All-Region 2. As this one falls in for the Violets kill. 24 serving 17. As Kean comes back on. Out of Calabasas, California. The kind of player you can always rely on. The Cougars want to slow him down, though, slow down their middles, win that battle. This one's well struck, but somehow dug out. Setting up the outside, it's Boyer there. Free ball given up. Cougars need to slow this one down on the block. They're not up for it, and then the second one, Mitchell couldn't get to it. As it rolled out of play off the Cougars, that ends set number 1, 25-17, but there was a lot more life I think that many would have expected coming into this one, but just about as what I expected going into this. These are the kinds of sets and the kind of matchups I think the Cougars could certainly steal one, and more than just steal one, just stay involved in every set, where it could be that 15-14 score when we get to the 20s, when we get to 22, 23. And that's what we'll be looking for in set number 2. Certainly that's what we'll be looking for and what head coach Besser-Slani will be looking for. Again, that blocking that they worked on recently will have to show up a little bit more. Otherwise, though, an exciting start to this match. 1-0, the lead for the Violets. We'll be right back for set number 2. Welcome back here on Kean Live. Second set action about to be underway. There are your Cougars. There is David Flores, the reigning NJAC Defensive Player of the Week. Talk about how it was an interesting set for the Cougars, how they really kept up the pace early on but lost it late. So much of that is what we talked about against those CVC matchups. For those of you who listened in on those, and for those of you who didn't, we focused on especially how the Cougars respond after giving up points, and more importantly, after giving up service errors especially. But it's how do they stop the bleeding? How do they stop runs? Late in set one, unfortunately, they could not. As there you see head coach Jose Pena for the Violets. About to be underway as this one floats over. There for it. And struck wide off the setup from Knudsen. Cougars get the first point in set two. This one just tips on over. Set up by Wynn, though, on the back set, and it just trickles in off the left hand of Pugliano. Knotted up at one early in set two. Buddy Cohen back to serve. Cohen, the senior middle. Another important middle that the Cougars want to slow down. Mitchell stopped on that strike. Back line. Murphy's there. Something now to work with, but the block was up to stop Aiden Flynn. Right there for it. Oshetsky. Cohen again back to serve. 2 serving 1 for the Violets. Teams against the Violets hit to a 162 mark as this one falls as they play in the United Volleyball Conference NYU. That's their second in their conference in that opponent hitting percentage. Only team ahead of them, Vassar. Nothing to be ashamed about there. That's a very competitive conference, and they're coming off some great victories against them. This one just too far, and the Cougars thought they got away with it, but no, off the tip. The Violets get it. Talk about the matchups recently. As they were eliminated last season by Vassar College, they did eliminate Southern Virginia, who's inside the CVC, inside the Cougar Conference. As that one deflects out of play off the block, the Cougars get one right back. But recently in this season, NYU going back-to-back against ranked opponents. SUNY New Paltz, 18th. Hobart College as well, another ranked opponent. And for them, both conference opponents, the way they've swept 4 conference games to start off has been nothing short of brilliant for them. Boyer on the serve. This one misplayed and nearly getting to it as he collides with the wall. Luckily a padded one for Quinn. Certainly gave it chase, though. Too far, service error against Boyer. Cougars are back within 1. These service errors are more than keeping them in this. They're making it interesting enough where they could do even more. Certainly felt like they could have been in control of set 1. Mitchell on a strong serve. Has to get back for this one, misplayed. This falls. The setup looking for Emerson Evans, but it doesn't work out. as the whistle blows here. And wait to resume off this stoppage. Just going to mop something up on the floor on that Violet side. Should be all clear now. Five serving five. Again, Cougars knotted up early. Just kept alive. Free ball, though, for the Cougars. Setting up the outside. It's Murphy dug out. Boyer there. Mitchell. Flores. Down the middle on the back line. Boyer again has to dig. Continues to do so well, but cross-court strike falls out of play, and the Cougars take the lead. That's what being patient will do for you. Just stay involved. Keep it in play. Continue rallies until you're the last one to make a mistake and not the first one, and that's the difference there. Brilliant strike on the serve, but more coming as this just nearly got over. Pancake dig for Mitchell. We continue. And struck too far by the Violets. The Cougars get back-to-back here, take a 2-point lead. 7 serving 5. Well, I said it in set 1. The Cougars are making this interesting. That's a brilliant pancake dig from Chris Mitchell. He serves again. A little tough on that back line, and this one strikes heavily and just off of Aiden Flynn. No time to react on that one. He was trying to get out of the way, but it was just too late. Not much you can do about that one, unfortunately. Tchaikovsky started the serve, and it finishes a point for the Violets as they get themselves back evened up at 7 with their number 7 back to serve. Just over hit by the Cougars. Sean Murphy on that one. Well received by Quinn. He's the best at that for the Cougars. Outside, too far. And out of play. Cougar point. Maybe trying to be a little bit too perfect as Bennett Tchaikovsky comes off. Kagan back out on the floor for the Violets. Murphy, 8 serving 7. Floats one through. Wynn sets one up, and that's well dug out by Quinn. Mitchell. Kept alive by Knudsen, and too far on the attack. Knudsen sets up Evans. The Violets again trail by 2. Another 2-point run for the Cougars. Trading 2-point runs recently. Murphy. Looked like he may have mishit that one, but it still trickled over, but a quick attack coming in. That's Devin Wynn. Set up here. On the outside, the Cougars got a touch to it. It maybe was going out of play, but maybe not. It seemed like it really forced Quinn into action. He normally has a good read on those things, although he had to read that one in a matter of milliseconds. Trading 2-point blows as we're evened up at 9, and there's a service error coming from Wynn. Ten serving 9. Cougars. Multiple leads in this set. From Michael McSorley. Floats one toward the back line. Misplayed, but kept alive. An awkward one that deflects off the block. Setting up and nearly getting the finish, Pugliano. That's a brilliant dig on that side. And cross-court finish to even up at 10. Just beat the dive of Sean Murphy on that one. Got to give a lot of credit, though, on that back line to Luke Boyer. Quinn, the long set here, and the block, though, is booming on the right side. The Violets stand tough on this one and finally recapture the lead through a much more contested second set. Out of play off the Cougars, and now the Violets get 3 straight. Tied up and take themselves a 2-point lead. The Cougars have been consistently trading those 2-point blows. They only get one after the last one, though, and now a 3-point run makes it much more comfortable. They haven't been able to continue it much, though, and this one, though, will fall between Pugliano and Flores off a dead-end hit from Tyler Quinn. Quinn's second in the CVC in digs this season as time is called. It looked like asking for number 9, Luke Boyer, to come over and speak with the upper official for now. Just a quick word there. But as time is called, the Cougars, why not? Calm things down. They've been able to be involved in these sets. They just need to find a way to get 1 or 2 to go, to dig a little bit more when it counts, and to get the block up a little bit earlier when they need to. The striking has just been so good from NYU in this one. Not as good as it was in set 1, but overall still a .419 percentage. The Cougars have really been taking it to them in this second set, putting them off balance and slowing them down. They'll look to continue that on the other side of this timeout. And we're back here on Kean Live. The Violets back to serve. 13 serving 10. Can they keep this going? 4-point run for them. This sets up Flynn, kept alive by the libero Knudsen. And on the outside, this one just tipped through off the Cougars. Make it a 5-point run now for the Violets again. Just about what we saw in set 1. The Cougars keeping it close, making it a very competitive set, doing a lot of things right, and then finally comes a 4 or 5-point run, or as much as 7 as we saw in set 1. That makes the difference. Cougars jump out of the way just in time, and the service error finally breaks things up. 11 serving 14. You have to think, though, if the Cougars can play like this through so much of a set against NYU, what is the limit for this side as that one falls in? Splitting the Cougars up just perfectly on that. The kill for the Violets. 15 serving 11. Buddy Cohen back to serve. Flores looking for the back line. Doesn't work out there from Pugliano. Just a bit too high on the strike as this one beats Sean Murphy on the back line. .16 serving 11. The run continues. Back to 2 in a row for the Violets. Flores. For Mitchell, it breaks through. For Murphy, check that. Sean Murphy down the middle, striking for the kill. I'm recently watching him in these home matchups, especially compared to the early home matchups this season. Looks a little bit more comfortable, and the other thing that looks about him is his swings just seem better timed out at this moment. That one over the block. Well, hit over to try and keep it alive from Flynn, but out of play. Maybe thought that was the third. I think they had one more, though. Up here again for Murphy, kept alive on the outside. Struck from far out behind the back line by Emerson. This gets through. They push over the third. Late hit up from Pugliano. Now it's Mitchell going cross court. Again kept alive. Now Wynn there for it. Bumped over a free ball there from Flores. He had to give it up. Somehow kept alive. Cougars another touch. Another chance here. Quinn makes it happen. Well played. Wynn setting up down the middle. Cougars there to it. Murphy. Brilliant patience. Cougars need a little bit more. The block is there. Good touch. Dug out by Quinn. Outside. Murphy. Rally continues. Wynn. Back down the middle. Through the block. Nearly dug out by a diving Quinn. What an exciting rally. An absolute battle by the Cougars. Against maybe another opponent, I might be saying, well, they need to have that point. Against NYU, that is just incredibly brilliant volleyball back and forth. Evans, 18 serving 12. Well received. Right down the middle, it's Pugliano. He's got the answer now. And that's where Flores needs to find him a little bit more often. Through the middle. Boyer. Looked like it was going too far, but may have been tipped early. That's why it was played by Flynn for the Cougars. Watch that right side. The block is there from Huzar. Back up. Got to be up just a bit earlier, but a brilliant dig by Flynn anyhow. This gets over, and they can't play through. Cougar kill. Brilliant from the Cougars. They survive an onslaught. They get the dig. Aiden Flynn, so key to that. Exceptional work by Aiden Flynn. $14 serving, 18 coming up. Some quick conversations with the coaching staff and the players on the back line. Specifically Evans there in the corner. The serve from Pugliano gets on over. Here's Boyer for Wynn. And that one knocked into play. Looked like it was fading out, but it lands in just in front of Sean Murphy. 19 serving 14. Violets right into the net anyhow. On the service error. You hear the chants from the Cougars, double error. Not official, but still a service error regardless. Into the net, just the second part of it. Kept alive by Mitchell and Flores. This one, though, right into the net from Aiden Flynn. And you hear it from head coach Bezarslani. It was a great save from Chris Mitchell just to keep that one alive, give them a chance to play off of it. So tough when the striking has that velocity off the serve. The service is incredibly difficult to handle. They do so well there, though. Floating one through, it's kept alive. Set up on the outside. Off the left arm near the bench, and no chance to get there. And knocking over some Powerade bottles on his way, Aiden Flynn. These guys would just about get to everything if there was absolutely nothing blocking their path. That's pretty much for sure. Too far here, a service error, and the Cougars get their 16th in the set. Looking for more than they had in set one. More importantly, looking to get this one close again, as it was through much of this set, about the first 12 points. A 1-point second set. Over from Murphy. And that's just well struck. Murphy stepping into it, losing the angle as he does. And a kill for the Violets. So tough to find that balance. Now, I always equate these things to baseball, especially when you think about a ball coming at you. So often, a fielder, your first step is back, specifically outfielder, and that's kind of what you are on the back line. The difference is that there drives at you, so sometimes you need to step in. That's the difference. That's deflecting off of Wynn, and a kill for the Cougars. Serving 22. Michael McSorley back to serve. He floats one over. Boyer, an awkward touch, but still sets up a good chance, and the block is right down to the edge. Pugliano's in on that. When I spoke to head coach Bezarslani, he said they worked on that blocking, and it looks like it's paying off a bit. And he said, you know, he's not expecting them to go out there and get 20 blocks against this squad, but he wants to see good block touches. He's certainly seen a few of them so far. This one, a block back to answer, though, from Buddy Cohen as well as Gabriel Bialik. Serving 18. Closer second set, but still one controlled by the Violets. Well handled. Setting up, and this one just ticks on and continues to slice away from Violet field of play. Makes it serving 18. It was actually pretty well set up, especially off the receive. Thought the Cougars handled that pretty well. Set point in set two. This just trickles over. Back set for Mitchell. He strikes straight to the edge. And just in front of the new libero, Dylan Sue. Serving 24, floated over by Flores. Tough play, keeping it alive. Awkward spot, looking for the joust. Cougars get the other touch to it from Flores. Now it's Mitchell in the block. Did it go out of play? It did not. Set point. Looked like it may have gone out of play, but that ends set number two. 25-19, your score. The Cougars inching a little bit closer in that second set, showing off a little bit of good blocking as well. A total of 4 total blocks, 2 of them coming from Pugliano, all block assists across the board for the Cougars. The hitting percentage not out to a great number, 119 after the first 2 sets compared to 397 for the Violets, but really dropping their hitting percentage by about 400 from set to set. So the Cougars certainly doing enough to slow them down, and change things up. We'll be right back for set number 3 here on Kean Live. Don't go away. Welcome back here on Kean Live for the third set incoming here inside Harwood Arena. Once again, my name is John DeFreitas, bringing you this out-of-conference action for your Kean University Cougars men's volleyball program. It's been exciting so far. The Cougars have had a lot to chew on in this one overall. Hitting percentage didn't really work out for them in the second set. They hit a 222 in set 1. Limited kills in the second. Errors a little bit up, but the blocking seemed to improve overall versus the Violets. 6 errors in the second set, only 2 in set 1. So another area for them to improve upon. Their percentage dropped as well, the overall play dropping 654 to 216, the comparison, and 19 kills down to just 14 from set to set. Leaders today: Mitchell, 7 kills. Sean Murphy, 5, the top 2 for your Cougars. Pugliano and Flynn involved as well. Mitchell, a 294 percentage against this brilliant NYU squad. Mitchell strikes pure. Brilliant from Chris Mitchell, just as we were mentioning him. Can't say enough about his game this season, what he's meant to this squad. The best part of it is that he's still just a junior. Wynn sets up the Violets, and it looked like it may have stayed alive off the left boot of David Flores, but there's no chance to play off of that. Unless he's got that Neymar-style touch, but not to be in this case. Right into the net, and a service error against Emerson Evans. Back to serve Aiden Flynn, who strikes wide for another service error. Mitchell, a 286 percentage on the season. Really, it's hard to say it's not his best season. In every category, he's just about improved. Quinn up for it. Flores and nearly getting that one to go, but now Wynn back sets on the other side for the Violets, and this one just gets over the head of Mitchell and in front of David Flores. Strike too far, service error against the Violets. Mitchell on pace to beat his 2023 freshman season totals, where he had 249 kills. But he's well on pace to have his best percentage of his career. This one falls as the Violets get one right back and recapture the lead. Mitchell 171, 136, and this season with that 286, his best mark by far. Really something to hang his hat on. Just about every category improved. Even service aces 11 already, and he had 13 in his freshman season. That was the most in his career then. This one deflects out of play and all the way up here into the track, in fact. That one gets lost. Right over that left scoreboard. 4-4. There's head coach Bez Arslani with assistant coach Michael Fox. At 4-all, Mitchell striking toward the back line, but another service error and trading service errors in this set, hurting the Cougars for now. For Mitchell, season to season, he's nearly doubled his points per set as well. Another brilliant mark. One of the many things that's helping make this team special. As are some of their freshmen, like Murphy on that attack. And there's Huzar, the other freshman, both getting involved. They've got to get up for that block, but it's over them and falls in front of Quinn. Set up by Flores, and the block is brilliant down the middle. That's what's been so tough, getting through that. Seems nearly impossible right now. Here from head coach Bez Arslani, keeps swinging. There it is again, blocked through the middle off Huzar. Time called. 8 serving 4 when we return for this. The Violets got real comfortable with their middles on back-to-back there, creating a decent point run for them now. 4 straight. We'll be right back here on Kean Live. Don't go away. Welcome back here on Kean Live. Back to serve is Wynn, the setter, who floats one over at 8 serving 4. Here's Mitchell trying to float one down, but it's dug out by Sue. Or check that, actually. That's their other libero, Knudsen. 9 serving 4, a 5-point run. The Cougars had this one tied up not long ago. Again, it's been these runs in every set that have been the difference maker. This one just clears over. Back set for Mitchell. Mitchell strikes to the corner, and a kill for Chris Mitchell. All time, the Cougars 4-4 against the Violets. They haven't won a game against them since 2017 in a neutral site. Five serving 9 over from Murphy. On that outside, it gets by Murphy. Murphy seemed to tuck in behind Mitchell a little bit too far. Made it really tough to get to that one for him. Just over here at 10 serving 5. Back set for Mitchell. Was well struck, but well dug out by Knudsen. Kept alive by Murphy. Sets up, same spot. Flynn. Knudsen setting up Boyer, who's been dangerous today. Flynn off the block, out of play. Cougar kill. Boyer, 7 kills, a .462 percentage, but this time couldn't make it happen. A few guys really making their mark. Buddy Cohen, 6 kills. Kagan, 4 kills. Evans, 8 kills, along with their leader, Oshetsky, with 11 so far. Set up through the middle, misplayed, but still somehow kept alive by Boyer. It sets up Mitchell, who just gets it to tick through. Pushed over. On the outside. Floated over, kept alive. Boyer's there again. Watch that outside, the block up late. Back set now for Flynn, and the block is pure on the right side for Emerson Evans. Back to serve, Buddy Cohen. Flores, and down the middle, floating that one on the right side, Sean Murphy. 7 serving 11 again. We have seen this score before with the Cougars on the serve. They've led by as much as 2 in set 2. But in set 3, more work to do. Didn't mean to rhyme there either. Kept alive on the back line, Murphy. That might be a dangerous one, turning into a joust. Well played by Flynn, and an error by the Violets, but the upper official might disagree and call this one against the Cougars. It definitely looks close. See who catches the net. Officials confer. Cougars want to continue this run. Explanation from the lower far side official seems to be clear to the upper official, and to not confirm the call. The touch from Aiden Flynn, an error against him. Just for a moment seemed perfect. Flores, back set. Kept alive by Flynn, another touch up. Here's Mitchell. Set to the outside. Boyer, the block is a good one, but still kept alive for Evans. Struck to the back line. Quinn got to it. Now it's Mitchell. Well done by Mitchell, but more work to do. More to be patient with. Way up in the air, and oh, that took a tick off of the roof. I could see that from where I am. I'm not sure if our cameras caught it. It's way up in the air, and there's not much other than rafters to look at for a camera shot, unfortunately. So as that one comes down, you can see how it changed direction. No, it's not wind. but that did basically take away any chance at the play. Otherwise, the Cougars more than likely would have continued this rally. They were doing so well at that. Service error, and I guess you could say in a way the ball doesn't lie. The roof takes one away from the Cougars, or the ceiling does, I should say. But this will calm it down. Set up down the middle, the block there for the Cougars. Got to be up again. They battle for that one, and it's going to be an error against them. Serving 8, the Violets in control. Back to serve, Luke Boyer. Too far, and another service error. Boyer, another guy, UVC championship all-tournament team. Had double-digit kills in 16 matches this season ago. Just another dominant player in his senior season. This one deflects through and lands in beyond the dive of Jonathan Garcia, who's newly entered the game for the Cougars. Pugliano steps off. Flores, back set. Mitchell is perfect again. Chris Mitchell continues to be strong on the right side. Mitchell now back to serve 10, serving 15. The game's certainly not in hand just yet for the Violets, even with the 2-set lead. Down the middle, it just gets through Quinn. Well struck there by number 17, Krish Vasan. Vasan on the serve, floats one over. Tough one to play for Flores, and he still makes it happen. Kept alive by the Violets, and Vasan. This one somehow through the net and lands in. So often you see that one take an extra bounce like that and slice wide. This one doesn't, as it falls in Cougar field. 17 serving 10. Garcia up for it. Flores on the back line. Boyer. New man in as well, number 14, Jerry Fang. Setting up the outside, looking to go down the line, but striking wide. That's Sean Murphy. 18 serving 10. The run continues. Need to stop it as soon as possible. 3 straight for the Violets. Just in. Looked like it was going out. Supposedly just in. Certainly the best angle from that official, so I've got to give it that way. And from myself, more parallel with the court and not looking up and down vertically. Can't say for sure that what I saw is law. At 19 serving 10, this one deflects through the attack from Mitchell. Floated over, back set. Now to another passer, but misstruck by Tyler Iozzi, who's entered the game for the Cougars. And we hear it from head coach Bezer Slani. He just says keep swinging. He wants to see these guys be aggressive. That's exactly what they're doing here on these attacks. Service error, they get one right back. Flynn ready to come in to change Flynn for Garcia. Tyler Iozzi back to serve for the Cougars at 11, serving 20. Too far and a service error there. Set up down the middle as it deflects through. Back to the outside, a decent touch, and then couldn't make a play to it. Flynn and Quinn stirring each other up and freezing each other. And you see celebrations in the stands and on the bench for Wadid Duran coming into the game. Jake Upham in the game for the Violets. Duran sets up down the middle. It just trickled over. And another chance kept alive, dug out by Quinn. Nearly forced over, knocked out of play by the Violets. Cougars get one back. Evans loses that bout on his right side. Serving 22 from McSorley. Upham just got it to go. So Upham newly entering the game makes it happen. 23 serving 12. And they're just about ready to put a bow on this one. Struck down perfectly, and a kill for Rye Kagan, the middle. A brilliant kill from Kagan. Gives us match point setup. 24 serving 12. Kept alive. Duran, back set. Mitchell strikes through. On the outside, it's a tough play. That's not clean. Cougar point. Got to go between the antenna. Lots of excitement up there from students in the bleachers. Join in on the Cougar bench chants. Alive by Sue. Duran. Setting up the floater from the back line from Iozzi. Nearly up for it, and then it falls, but it's a Cougar point on the error by the Violets. Giving up back-to-back on match point. Out of play here. That does it on the service error against the Cougars to end game, set, match 25-14 in set number 3. Every set well contested from 1 to 3, at least early on. This one having a more earlier run for the Violets that really pushed them over the top to yet another 3-0 sweep. That's generally been the story between these two squads. All 3-0 sweeps except for once back in a 5-set victory for the Cougars in 2013. But in this 3-0 sweep, it's a victory for the Violets, and it puts to end this homestand, although a relatively successful one overall. As they go 2-1, they end up having their game against Immaculata canceled, but other than that, they defeat Wilkes, they defeat Drew before being taken out by NYU here. They go on the road to face the next best team in the country in their next matchup, Southern Virginia University, in a CVC matchup. One out of conference play after that, and we finish off at home beginning March 26th up against Rutgers Newark, which will be both a CVC and an NJAC matchup. But here for Kean Live, if you're wondering, we will be back tomorrow. We've got women's lacrosse, men's lacrosse, and a doubleheader sandwiched in between for softball as well. So Kean Live will be back in just under 24 hours. So thank you all for joining us here tonight. Once again, my name is John DeFreitas. Have a great night, and we'll see you real soon.